The dust of Silver Gulch carried a strange taste that Halloween morning of 1872, dry, metallic and sharp on the tongue, as if the desert itself sensed something was coming. Folks said sickness rode the wind, drifting in from the abandoned mines, but most blamed the fever on bad water, old pipes or God's wrath. No one imagined it would all trace back to a simple jar on a wooden shelf. Elias Thorne, keeper of the only general store for 50 miles, had been pacing since dawn, muttering under his breath as children collapsed in their homes with blackened veins and tar-colored tongues. He'd seen disease before: cholera, snakebite rot, even bite marks from rabid coyotes, but nothing moved this fast. Nothing changed a child's eyes. Marshal didn't believe in spells or devils or witches. He believed in men, bullets and lies, and as more townsfolk whispered Clara Hayes' name, pointing to her jars of herbs, her teas, her strange remedies, passed down from a grandmother born somewhere deep in the Appalachian hollows, Kane decided he'd better hear her side before the storekeeper stirred a mob. But when he arrived, anything resembling sense went running out the door. Clara had barely stepped inside the store when Elias snapped. A jar slipped from her basket, shattering on the floor. A cloud of bitter scent filled the air. Elias shoved her down, his voice cracking as he called her a poisoner, a devil wife, a woman who twisted nature until it bent wrong. She didn't fight back. She only pleaded for calm, for a chance to speak. Her children clung to the Marshal, trembling as if the room itself frightened them. Kane leveled his pistol to stop Elias from going any further, but the moment stretched like a rope pulled too tight. Sunlight filtered through the dusty windows, catching particles of flour drifting up from the broken jar, and something changed in the faces of the children, something subtle, then horrifying. Little Bess giggled, a sound too calm for the tension. Timmy's grip tightened around Kane's hand, twisting his trigger finger with strength no 7-year-old possessed. For the first time in years, fear slid cold down the Marshal's spine. Clara lifted her head and spoke softly, as though confessing a terrible truth or delivering a sentence. "It was never my tonics," she whispered. "It was the candy, the sweets Elias sold them. You all trusted him more than me." Elias froze. He opened his mouth to deny it, but his voice caught. His veins began to swell, darkening beneath his skin, pulsing like something alive. He staggered, knocking over a barrel. The sickness moved through him faster than through any child. Clara's smile grew, slow, patient, knowing. "I warned you all. The desert doesn't like thieves or liars. The mind spirits watch everything. My babies were touched first. Now balance comes for the rest." Whatever had taken hold of Timmy and Bess spread through them fully. Their eyes glossed into a depthless black. Bess's tongue forked delicately, like a snake tasting the air. Timmy stepped forward with unnatural grace, placing himself between his mother and the Marshal. Kane backed away, but the children advanced. Clara didn't even glance at them. She knew exactly what they were becoming. She walked upright now, no longer shaking, no longer begging. Outside, people screamed, doors slammed, horses thrashed in their tie-posts. The fever had bloomed across town all at once, too sudden to be natural, too synchronized for any earthly sickness. Some collapsed on porches, others choked on air that felt too heavy, too thick. A few crawled toward the church steps as though the stones themselves might offer mercy. But the desert had already chosen. By sundown, Silver Gulch fell silent. Bodies knelt where they had dropped, on boardwalks, in doorways beside the water trough, and in the aisles of Elias Thorne's store. Not a single gunshot echoed, not a single horse fled. Clara stood outside the store with her children pressed close to her skirts. The last streaks of daylight washed the sky in blood-orange reds, as though the sun itself bowed to her. She whispered something to the wind, words no one left alive could understand. And that Halloween night, Silver Gulch became just another abandoned town, swallowed by sand, remembered only as the place where every man, woman and child died kneeling.